Great. So now that you've done that visionary little speech to your team, encouraging them to go out and to achieve your goal, I also need you at the bottom of your formative section to please go and put down scores. So remember, you're going to do self-reflection. You're going to self-score based on your input into the team discussion. Now we're going to go a little bit deeper into leadership or management. So here are a bunch of concepts. I want you to think about, are they leadership concepts or are they management concepts? So let's take a look at that. Coaching, controlling, budgeting, inspiring, coordinating, guiding, innovating, administering, monitoring, and motivation. So which ones of those do you think are leadership functions and which ones of those are management functions? So read through that and in your own mind go, okay, that's what I think it is. So I'm going to give you time. If you want to, just pause the video right now and look at those and then decide where they fit. Okay, so pause right now. And now let's go and see which ones are leadership and which ones are management. So coaching is very much a leadership function. It's about dealing with people, about issues, about frustrations, about barriers, and helping them through it, helping them to develop techniques to be able to move forward. Controlling is a management function. So people control money, they control budgets, they control resources. It's a controlling function, which is very much managing things, which is a management. Budgeting, money is not people. So if you budget, you're controlling things, which is management. Then inspiring, you're working with people, you're inspiring them, you're trying to get them to achieve more than what they normally would. That's leadership. Coordinating different resources to work best together to achieve your goal, that's very much about things. That is management. Guiding, you guide people, you help them, you guide them, you whisper things in their ears that will help them to achieve. So that is leadership. Innovation is leadership. That's using your own God-given ideas, your skills, your abilities to come up with new things, and that is leadership. Administering, you administer things, so that's management. You monitor things, that's management, and then you motivate people, that is leadership. So that's how all of those different factors play out, that there are certain management and certain leadership functions. All right, so over there, you'll see that also in your reference notes on your left-hand side, that's what leaders do. Okay, so you can read that. And then on the right-hand side, that is what managers do. Okay, so they ask the hows and whens. Leaders ask the whys and whats. Leaders focus on people. Managers focus on systems. So take a look at that, and that will make it very clear what leadership and management functions look like and why they are separate. Also, you know certain people that are great leaders, but maybe not great managers, and certain people that are great managers that might not be great leaders. But ultimately, if we really want to change things, we need to be both. Okay, so let's take a look at our responsibilities. Okay, so our responsibilities, even as leaders, is that there are certain tasks that we have to do. So there are a list of tasks that becomes our responsibility. We need to make sure that it's followed through and that those tasks are actioned. That is my responsibility. I need to make sure that I also comply with things like policies and procedures, legislation. So I can't go against law. I need to work within the bounds of legislation. I also need to make sure that I act with the appropriate level of authority. If it's something that is too high for me, I need to then escalate that to my manager. And then I also need to make sure that there is a structure of the organization. What is the chain of command? And I can't go over my head and I can't go over my manager's head. So I need to follow through with the structure of the organization. So I work with my responsibility and all of those things, make sure what I can do and what I can't do. What is my responsibility and what is not my responsibility. But as a leader, you've also got something else. You have something called accountability. So often it's not just the tasks that are allocated to you, it could be tasks that you delegate down to those lower than you. Your boss also is accountable for your work. So although that's not their responsibility, they are accountable for what you do. So you report to higher positions on tasks you are accountable for. So in other words, if I have a team to manage, whatever happens in that team, I need to report higher to tell them what has happened within my team. So I'm accountable for them. I'm held to account for the outcomes of the tasks of the team, whether I performed them or if I didn't. So if my guys mess up and they act against the health and safety situations or this health and safety conduct that we are supposed to be doing, then I can be held accountable for their actions. So if I haven't trained them properly, then I am held accountable. So even though I am not directly responsible for their tasks, I am held accountable for the results of their tasks. So then also we need to report. We report when to report. We have that mandated. How the report needs to be done. Is it email? Is it in meetings? Is it via checklist? We need to work out how we report our accountability up to those above us. We need to understand what information we have to report and who must receive that report. So reporting is a big function when you are accountable for your team. Now we're going to be moving into Summative 1.2. So let's see Summative 1.2 right here. So that's our formative 1.2. Then we are going to go to our summative 1.2. There we go. So that is on page 16. So a lot of what we do in the summative section, you can take straight out of your reference notes. So it gives you an opportunity to consult with your reference notes and be able to find the answers there. So on these slides, I'm going to help you. So question 1, if you go to page 10 of your notes, you will find the answers. Question 2, refer back to page 13 of your notes and you will find the answers. Question 3, refer to the table on page 14 and there you will find the answers. Also, you'll find then, so let's take a look at this question. Okay, so question number 1, question number 2, and then we're going to look at question number 3. So what are the roles of the leader? What are the roles of the manager? So the first thing that they're asking is the comparisons and examples. So how are they similar? How are they similar? And give examples of why some things are similar. And then some things are very different. So tell me the things that are different about those two different roles, and then give me examples of why they are different. Okay, so that's how you answer question 3. Then question 4, describe the concept of responsibility and effects of complying or not complying with the following. So tell me how policies and procedures affect your responsibility, how legislation affects your responsibility, how levels of authority influence your responsibility, and how the structure of the organization affects your responsibility. Okay. And then how can leaders and managers show accountability in an organization? So we constantly talk about accountability. So how do people show accountability, or how are they held to account? So put in there, sort of things like reporting. So if we are accountable, we need to be reporting. If we are accountable, we need to be held to the standards of the organization. We need to make sure that our managers are talking to us and so that we're aligned, so that we are doing the things that they have told us about. We also need to make sure that everyone is trained in what is expected so that we can be held accountable and we can hold others accountable to those standards. So all of those kinds of factors bring up in question number 5. All right, guys, so that is Summative 1.2. Give yourselves at least 20 minutes to be able to finish that. Once you are finished with that, then let's move on to the next video.